Welcome to my channel. I am teaching you how to start I'm just going to show you how to start a bodybuilder business on a budget. Some of the things I did, some of the things that I researched, then put together, and I decided to put it in this video. Number one, timestamps will be in the description box. Okay, so if you have a question that you just really need to get to, check the description box. Number two, I am long-winded. This is not going to be a short video. It's not going to be 2-3 seconds. It is very detailed, step by step, so you can get every step. So I don't want to hear any complaining in the comment section. If you want a short video, there's multiple short videos that you can find. This isn't one of them. Let's begin with the first step. Oh, one more thing I want to mention is I'm going to also break this video up after. So if there's specific things you need to find, you'll find those as well. Let's begin to the first part. Oh, like, share, and subscribe. Let's begin. First thing you want to get is your essentials. The essentials, we're going to tally it up at the end. I will put how much we're going to have in the total. And at the beginning, I'll put it somewhere here. But the first thing that we want to get is our essentials. So when you think about the body butter, I know I say you guys love to look about the ingredients, but our essential stuff is our tools. Honestly, you can't have a body butter business or make body butters without the right tools. And you kind of don't want to use the stuff that you have at home sometime because, you're cross-contaminating. You want to get your tools, affordable tools, and then when you start making money, then you can purchase, the more heavy-duty one. So let's begin with the first item on my list. So the first item on my list is a handheld mixer. Handheld mixer, of course. Why a handheld mixer? Because we need to mix it. And I know a lot of people have the over-the-counter ones. Don't remember what they're called, but I'll figure it out. But the ones that you put on the counter, the KitchenAid, the heavy-duty one. But if you're starting on a budget, that's probably a bit expensive to start with, because some of them, I think the cheapest KitchenAid is 100 and change, if not probably a little more. So you don't want to start with that one. I started with a handheld mixer, and it got me, listen to me, that got me through so much. Okay, like I literally started a business with that, made a lot of mixes with it as well. And then when it was time, I upgraded. So the handheld mixer, I haven't seen it for more than $20 right now. It's $16.99. The most it's going to go up to is $17, and I didn't buy a name brand one because the name brand handheld mixer is going to run you more money, and that is going to take away from your budget depending on how your budget is. So right now, let's say we're working with a budget of $300 right now. Let's work with that. Let's work with that for now, right? Because some things you can take out and add in. So that's what I want to say. Like some things you probably already have, right? All right. So handheld mixer, $16.99. All right. So you need that to mix whip your body butters. It wasn't a name brand one, and it lasts me. I still have that handheld mixer up to today, and because I'm not making bulk body butters anymore, I don't use my the counter mixer anymore, and I still use that same one that I started with, right? So handheld mixer, way to go. I'm going to link the exact one that I use and the exact one that you need to use as well. And yeah. The next item you want to add is your mixing bowl. Your mixing bowl, because of course you need something to put your body butters in. You need a mixing bowl because you need something to put your ingredients in, and you need something to mix those ingredients in. So a mixing bowl. Now, some people use stainless steel. I guess stainless steel doesn't hold the scent, it doesn't hold the stain, so you can clean them off. I use glass. The bowl itself, I use glass because yes, glass can break, but I use the really thick ones, so I'll show those that I use as well. And they also don't keep the stain, and they also are easier to clean off rather than plastic. So when it comes on to my bowls, I don't use plastic at all. I've used plastic before, didn't like it, so I use the bowls. The mixing bowls that I use, the set of 3 or 4 is $22. However, actually, the bowls I think are $22. I'm gonna share the bowls as well. However, I suggest to use the beakers, the glass beakers from Anchor Hawking. That's the one. And the reason why I use those to mix my body butter is because, let's say my body butter isn't fully solid. When I put my mixer inside of it, instead of having the bowl and it splashes out like that, it's in the bowl, right? So the bowl is high enough and it gets on the walls of the bowl rather than splash everywhere. Understandable? That makes sense? So rather than have it to splash all over the place, it just it's less mess. And let's say I do create a formulation, like I do like sugar scrubs, and I don't pipe them into the jars. I can just hold the handle of those beakers and pour them into each container. So that's why I like those as well, but I have both. Now if you're starting out, you can start out with either or, it's your preference. I started out with, I had those handle ones. I ended up getting the bowl after because I needed to, I think it was a sugar scrub or something along that line. That's why I got the bowl. But however, you choose your preference and choose what, but they're not going to run you more than $22 for the set. Pro tip is, some of these items like the anchor hocking, I collected them, you know, back then when we went to Walmart and Marshalls at the time. Certain stores sell different size of these jars and containers single. So if you want a certain size, let's say, what was it, 2 cups, I think I had 4 cups, 16 ounce, that was a different size. I could get that individually at different stores. If it was 32 ounce, I could get them individually at different stores. But this link that I have below is the set of it, so you can have different sizes, see which one you prefer to use. And honestly, when you're just starting out, you're starting with small batches, then these should be fine in the beginning. So if you have any questions, now let's go on to something that I think is very overlooked, that you will need because you are making these things for customers, you are making these things for other people. And I think a lot of people underestimate the purpose of these items. I think you should get this gadget. I know you need these items. I use these items a lot, and it's gloves. You're going to need a box of gloves. In the beginning, even if you're just testing it for yourself, trust me, using the oils and the butters, and let's say using turmeric and the mica and the powder, getting them all on your hands, and just sometimes it can be a lot, especially if you're making actual like skincare. Like I used to make face serum, I used to make face wash and toners. Sometimes those chemicals, you don't want them directly on your hands. Not saying it's harsh, but you just don't want them all over your hand and things like that. You just want to, when you finish, toss it and you're good to go. Also, if you're making this for customers, you don't want to get any germs from your hand, even though you're going to wash your hand, you know. But just to be safe, extra safe, get yourself a set of gloves, and that will run you $10 on Amazon. So that will run you, a box of those will run you $10. However, I'm going to give you this pro tip again that I said in the beginning. Now I'm giving you all these links for them online. You can walk into a store and get some of these items with no issue, right? But I'm going to give you the link and it will be in the description. So gloves, a box of gloves, make sure you have a good amount of gloves, and yeah, use it for your testing, use it to make products. Comes in handy, need it. But make sure say you're clean, make sure say your area clean, and just make sure say you're not adding any glove. You're not adding any germs inside of the products that you're creating. So gloves are quite important. So the next item I have is stainless steel utensils. Now let me explain. I've seen videos where people use plastic spoons, plastic forks, plastic knives. I've seen that with lip gloss and lip gloss videos as well. Use what you can have, no shade, no fade. But I'm going to give you an option that's even better, that you don't have to keep tossing out, and you know, yeah, it can clean and it can sterilize, right? And it's stainless steel utensils. So now these stainless steel utensils in particular are the ones that I use to measure out mica. When I made face serum, I used them to weigh out my vitamin B, my powders, my additives, because when we're using those ingredients, we're using them as a small amount. So you want to make sure you take up just enough but not too much, and you want to be able to measure it. You also don't want it to be left, you know, to stain on anything that you're using, right? Therefore, that's why I got these stainless steel utensils that I can clean, wash, sterilize, good to go. Doesn't keep the stain, doesn't keep the scent, doesn't keep any particles on it, and it works perfectly fine. Now a set of these comes out to $13.99. Is that the one? Yes. So a set of these comes out to $13.99. Now what I will say is that this isn't I'll say it's not a necessity. Can I say that? I'll say it's not a necessity in the beginning, but it would be good to have. Right? So I'm telling you this because I'm going to give you, remember we're going each total, but I'm going to give you everything and you decide if you want to take it out or put it in. So it can be included in the total, but let's say you want to switch up the budget and the budget is less than maybe the 300 or the 200 or the 100. You can probably remove that in the beginning and, you know, substitute it with something else. depending on how you're going to work this budget out, right? But we're working with a budget that's, let's say the budget fits all of these things in, right? All right. The next item is, this is something I feel like is also underrated, and people look over these. These are the items that a lot of us will look over and not pay attention to. But if you don't have anything at all and you're starting a body butter business from scratch on the budget, you're going to need a spatula. You're going to need a spatula. Why are you going to need a spatula? Let's say you whip up your body butter, right? Boom, the body butter whip up, and you need to get some off of the edges, right? The edges. Why didn't I bring that glass up here with me? That would have been smart, right? Anyways, you need to get, just like if you're baking, you want to get the excess product off of the walls and the inside of your container, your bowls, whatever it is. Your spatula comes in handy, and you can use that to scoop the side. And especially when you're mixing, so make sure you mix so that way you can mix everything together instead of just some of the items. You want to make sure you get everything mixed in. Get your spatula and scoop the side and kind of fold it in, right? You want to fold it in with your spatula. Now, I personally have a silicone spatula. My spatula, one of my main spatula, is a spatula that I got from Vitamix. It's a long silicone spatula with 2 edges. If I have a picture with it, I'll put it here. This costs a little bit more, and honestly, you probably don't need that spatula, but it worked for me. So the spatulas that I'm going to show you here, these spatulas are spatulas that I also have. I have some similar versions to them that I also gathered from, I think it was Walmart, and at the time, but you know, you can also get them on Amazon. So that's what I'm showing you. I even got some from the dollar store at one point, just to see the ones that I like the most, right? So here it is, spatula. These are the ones that I would recommend from Amazon. These are similar, so you can definitely check those out and add them to your, I wouldn't skip this one. You don't skip it, because if you're mixing and you want to get excess product off of the side, what are you going to do? Use your fingers? No, you need a spatula. So add that to your lineup of items that you will need to start your body butter business on a budget. All right, so the next tool that you'll need isn't so much to create the body butter, but is what you will use when you're packaging the body butter, right? So I'm just adding this to the tools list because it is optional. I'm going to speak further on it in, at the end of this video. But it is a heat gun, and the heat gun is used to make your products have that nice professional look. So this is where the next item that I'm going to mention is the shrink wrap. The shrink wrap is something, have you ever went into like a store and you've seen products and they have that clear wrap around it and you have to like rip it off before you can actually open the product? That's what a shrink wrap is. The heat gun, where the heat gun comes in play, is that you put the shrink wrap around your body butter jar. I'm going to show you them here, right? You put it around the cover, and then you use your heat gun to melt it so that way it clasps it, right? And the only way someone can open that is if they actually purchase the item and they're going to use it. Now, if they purchase the item and that's already open, that means that someone opened it before, right? So that's what the heat gun and the shrink wrap is for. Now, this is optional. I would suggest that you have it just to show that just, let's say you're shipping products, so your customers know, hey, this was not tampered with. But it can be, I guess, a little bit optional in the beginning, but if the budget can stretch, make it stretch and get this, so that way your customers know your product was not tampered with while being shipped in the mail. There's other ways to go about this. You can do a foam liner, like there's a whole bunch of things, right? But heat gun $21.99, and a shrink wrap was $17.95. Now, at the time of this video, these are the price. We already know how pricing is going. It's going up, it's going down. You can decide which, if you still want to buy it whenever you see this. So far, the total without the shrink wrap and without the heat gun, we are at $75.95. And this is why I know a lot of people ask about the budgets, and I'm like, that's almost $100 already. You haven't added in your ingredients. You haven't added in most of the stuff that you need, right? Let's say you only have $100 and that $75.99 covers the things that you need to mix the ingredients. Then you can probably use the remainder, was that $25, and get some ingredients. But I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I'm not even going to hold you. If you're buying let's say you need all of that stuff, you're starting out, you see that $25, what you're purchasing is going to be, that ingredients will need to be used for testing your product, because remember, we're starting from scratch, know nothing about this. We're not about that life. We're new to this. that $25, that ingredients that you're going to buy, is technically going to end up being testable. So yeah, so that remainder $25 that you may have is to purchase the ingredients and use those ingredients to test. And let's say you test it out. I'm gonna be honest with you, you probably need a little bit more eventually, but we're just starting now. We're starting from scratch, from the bottom up, and we're going to figure it out. That ingredient is going to be used to test. Now let's say you need to do this right now. You can go online and find someone's formulation. Like, I have a lot of formulas online that you can take those, test them out, and then after you test it out, decide what you call it, test them out, see if you like it. I also on my website, I have an Excel sheet. I'm probably going to post my main just shea butter, like the actual ingredients on there for purchase that you can use to start with and test that out and see if you like it. But I got, like, my customers raved about that formula for that shea butter. So, you know, you can, you know, shameless plug, link in the description box, check it out. Should have mentioned that earlier, right? But anyways, use that $25, test out the ingredients, test out the formulation. I have plenty of formulas on my website for free. Test out those formulas, honey. Test them out, and then use, let's say it work, right? You can use them as promo. That can be your promotion for help grow your social media. Take pictures of you testing them out, video, record yourself practicing, record yourself testing it out. All right, because you're gonna need that towards the end when you do your marketing. Record yourself testing it out, recording yourself trying it out. Listen, in order to help build that Instagram, you're going to need content. This right now, the testing phase, the purchasing your items, this is it. This is the content to start that page, because you don't have any product right away. But people are gonna see I tried. They're going to see you testing out the products. They're going to see you getting your tools in the mailbox. They're going to see you putting them together. They're going to see everything. But yeah, so use this as your content to help get, you know, that traction to your Instagram page, because that's what we're going to use to market it, because we're on a budget. So we're going to use up the free things them, what they have available, right? Okay, so I think the next item should be, like I was thinking, maybe you guys should do ingredients next, but let's think about it. If you're starting the business, you go online, you do your research for some formulas. You want to make sure you have the tools to create the product. The next thing you want to make sure you have, even before the packaging, you need to make sure you have the ingredients for the product. So let's say you're starting with a basic with shea butter formula. Remember, there's plenty of formulas online. You can go, look, research, see the formulas, substitute it, make it your own, and create a body butter from it and test it and see if you like it, right? So plenty of formulas. You're going to need the ingredients. So let's get down into the ingredients that you will need for your body butter. One of the easiest ways to start making whipped body butter is shea butter. You can be creative, but you don't have to reinvent the wheel on this. Shea butter, start with shea butter. Maybe you're doing research for other butters and you might find another butter that you want to test out. If that's your story, that's your path, then you do that. But let's say you're starting from the ground up, get yourself some shea butter and start with that. Not just shea butter. I tell you the two butter them you can start with, but let's say what that would run you. Depending on your budget, 5 pounds of shea butter, and I will consider 5 pounds of shea butter if you're gonna go straight into bulking, right? 5 pounds of shea butter from my favorite suppliers. Not sponsored, they need to sponsor me, but not sponsored, 3 kg. Link is in the description box. $39. That is $39, right? So we're gonna put that, add that to the total, $39. That's if you choose to do 5 pounds. Let's say you want to start small. You can get 1 pound for $13.99 as of this video. In the link in the description box, still 3 kg, and 1 pound is 16 ounces. 16 ounces, that's if you're using 100% shea butter, but you're not using 100% shea butter. So I feel like you can get at least 4, because if you do 4 ounce each, you make 8 ounces, and the next 4 ounces something else. Okay, yeah. Yeah, but you can probably get 4 8-ounce jars out of that, or more, if you're just mixing that with oils or if you substitute other butters. It all boils down to the formulation. But depending on your budget, and if, let's say, you feel like your body butters are going to be shea butter down, it's going to be mostly shea butter, then go ahead and get the 5 pound, because you're going to constantly need it. You'll keep on testing with it. So instead of getting the 1 pound in the beginning, and you know you're going to keep using the shea butter, get the 5 pound because you're going to constantly use it. So those are the two prices that I will put available for the shea butter. When I tally this all, I feel like I'm going to need at least 2 tally. I don't want to confuse anybody, but 2 totals, so you can see which one you can go for, right? Anyways, so shea butter, ingredients with butter, right? So the next item we're going to go over is another butter that you can start with, which is mango butter. I feel like mango butter is a simple butter to start with. It is a bit more hard than shea butter, but that's something that we can get into in one of my videos. I have a lot of videos. I'm going to link them below the videos that you can go over to help you start, you know, if you want to make a mango butter, things like that, because mango butter is a bit harder than shea butter. So it can be mixed with shea butter and body oils. Almost say, test it out. So yeah, so we can start with a whipped body butter with both butters inside of it. So let's say you just want to go straight shea butter, and the mango butter 1 pound is at $16.50 at the moment, at the time of recording this video. For you, if you made it this far in the video so far, I'm going to continue, but if you made it this far, please like the video, say thank you in the description, or if you want to just help me out, say thank you. If you don't want to say thank you, leave an emoji. No emoji, just like the video. That will help me so much to get to my goal. All right, so we went over the butters that you'll need. So the other part of your ingredients that you'll need is your carrier oils. So carrier oils are pretty important when it comes on to whipped body butter. Now, some basic carrier oils that you can use. What I would recommend, what I started with, was sweet almond oil. Now, if you're making these products and you have, let's say you're very conscious about nut allergies or anything like that, we can substitute the sweet almond oil with apricot kernel oil. Not too much on the pricey side, but apricot kernel oil to me is a bit heavier than sweet almond oil, and this is where your tests come in. So I'm just going to suggest these oils, and you know, you can choose which one you want to start with, but sweet almond oil is a good start for your body butters. Jojoba oil is a good start, and jojoba oil is a good start if you're making like a combination skin body butter, because jojoba oil is, you know, the closest oil to the matches the sebum on your skin. So jojoba oil can never miss. What I will say about using jojoba oil is it is a pricier oil. So if you're going to use 100% jojoba oil in the body butter, just know, ka-ching, it will cost you, because jojoba oil costs money. So you have to think about that. And yes, you can probably find it cheap, but I don't trust, me personally, don't buy jojoba oil from everywhere. And even with this now, I'm showing you the Amazon list. I'm going to show you, like, if I were to buy it, I'd probably get it from that company. But in all honesty, there's some companies that sell really good quality carrier oils, and I'll get it from there. But the issue with going from company to company in the beginning is that the shipping costs add up. So that is why we're doing it this way, where we can go in one-stop shop, start there, and then as you grow, you change, right? So let's rally back. Jojoba oil, sweet almond oil, apricot kernel oil, and last but not least, especially if you're making it for a winter body butter, you know, super dry skin, avocado oil. Avocado oil will not disappoint you. Grapeseed oil as well, if you feel like avocado oil is too heavy, but avocado oil for the winter, not disappoint. Apricot kernel oil for the winter won't disappoint. I don't think a lot of people use apricot kernel oil, but let me tell you something, sweetheart, that oil does not disappoint. When me tell you that oil lasts on your skin, it does what it needs to do. Because even sometimes when I use that in my body butter, when I'm taking a bath, I use my liquid Castile soap to make sure I get all that oil off. Now, does it make you look shiny? No. Does it make you feel too wet? No, but it's there. Like, I can tell you it lasts. Bit of a tangent, but that is what it is, right? You came here for your step-by-step detailed budget for your body butter business, and you got it. So yeah, so we decided on, let's say we decided on shea butter, mango butter optional, And we're going to use sweet almond oil. If you want to substitute for sweet almond oil, maybe apricot kernel oil, some jojoba oil. Let's say we only have to choose two. I'm choosing the jojoba oil, even though it might do a lot to the budget. And I'd probably go to avocado oil. Since it's cold outside, let's go with avocado oil. If it's summertime, get yourself some grapeseed oil, you know, or some hemp seed oil. You can't go wrong with that either. But you can start with those, right? Depending on what you're making the body butter for. Oh, pro tip, if you're going to make the body butter for like eczema and things like that, hemp seed oil is perfect for that. So the next ingredient that you will need for your body butter business, some essential oils, right? And there's certain websites that sell essential oils, but we want to be very careful of the ones that aren't really essential oils and aren't good quality. But we also have to be careful of some of these websites that sell essential oils and the quality is so great that it is so expensive, and lots of those essential oils are for medicinal purposes. I don't think a lot of people realize that there's some sites that sell like real genuine essential oils, and I personally, when I had my business, I started out with those and then I had to stop because they were so expensive. But guess what, they were doing what they were supposed to do, but they were pricey, so I had to come to a middle ground. Now there's those essential oils, you can use them for balms, for healing balms. Those essential oils are chef's kiss for those. There's something in the difference of the quality there, the medicinal ones, the same tea tree, but that one, when I used to get it from that expensive site, it does what it needs to do. Now, more affordable, you're selling this, so you can't really go too hard with essential oil, or else the end goal, the product that you're going to get, is going to be really expensive. And I'm going to link it down below. It is, I think this one is from Now. It's Now, and Mountain Rose Herbs. So Mountain Rose Herbs essential oils are good quality as well. But what I will say about those, even though they're really great quality, price is still a bit pricey in there. The types that you'll need: tea tree, can't go wrong with that. Can't go wrong with some lavender essential oil. Those two, if you start out with anything, those two, top tier. Now, if you're making these body butters to combat skin condition, there's other essential oils that you can add with research, but it gets pricey. So the only other one that I would suggest is frankincense essential oil. I had great results with that, especially in my eczema butter. So definitely try frankincense essential oil. Fourth one, just in case, lemongrass. But i.e. lemongrass has a very strong scent, so you have to be careful with that. Those are the four that I'll suggest in the beginning. And if you need to do two, let's start with the lavender and the tea tree, or the tea tree and the frankincense, or all three of those. But that will be linked below as well. The prices will be all up here. Another tip is, once you start to upgrade and you're comfortable with the formulation, what I want you to do is go on your as a matter of fact, you probably don't have to do that, because I have a link. I have a video that I made with all the bulk suppliers that I've used and what I personally purchased from them. Probably going to recreate that video, but until then, link below where you can find these all in bulk once you do your research, once you decide to start making it in bulk at, you know, in larger quantities. So the next item we're going to go over is crafting your unique product. I mean, this may or may not cost you. You can purchase someone's formula that they've sold. That's one. I have some formulas for sale as well. I'm going to link them down below. Or you can use free formulas that are provided all over the internet. I have a lot of videos with different whipped body butters formulas that you can use, right? And that can help you to create step-by-step videos, which can help you create your body butter. Okay, let's get to the next one, which is packaging. Almost forgot. So we have created the formulation, we got our tools, create the formulation, create our perfect formula, tested it out, and all the good stuff. So now we need packaging for this body butter that we're going to sell to the public, right? And we can start off with, let's say, plastic. Because of budget, start off with some plastic jars and lids. Beginning, it's clear. So get your plastic jars and you want them with the lids. And a good way to get that is from the link below from Amazon. I think they have 12 and 24, and you get it for $17.95. Start off with those plastic jars. Let's say you have a little extra budget, then you can go ahead if you want and get glass. I preferred glass jars, however, sometimes they broke during shipment if not padded. The amber brown ones are great. because they last longer and direct sunlight won't be hitting the product. The clear ones are perfect because if you do color, you do the little pretty stuff, then your customers are able to see what's inside. When you take the picture, them can see it, and a lot of us are visual shoppers, so they're able to see the color, they're able to see everything inside of the jar, which will make them want it even more. So you can definitely think about that, but that will run you $17.95. I'm going to show you a picture here. I did mention the shrink bands earlier, and the shrink bands, you put around these jars, they can run you $8.99, and you can get a lot for the price. The only thing is, the size of the jar. Make sure you get the right shrink band size for your jar. Now I will probably look this up and then add it in editing if I can find it, or maybe in the description box. But it's good to, as a matter of fact, when you buy the jars, usually they tell you the size in the description box, but it's good to have those to seal. Or you can get foam liners that you put on top of the jars, and once you cover it, once you put the cover it on, it seals the container, and in order to use it, you have to pop the foam liner off. So that's an option as well. So the next item we want to get is labels, because we have to label our jars, right? We'll have to label the jar them to make sure, say, it's branded correctly and it is, it fits the brand that we're going for. It just have the aesthetic and outlook of what we want for our business. So number one, we can do circle labels, and that's because the circle labels, you just do your logo, you can do your ingredients underneath it and slap it right on the top on the cover. And I would suggest to do that if you make colorful products. If you make colorful products, you can do that because you probably want the customer to see it. Or you can do the rectangular labels. That's what I did. I did the wraparound labels. On that, I'll have my logo. You'll have your, oh, I forgot to mention purchasing for your logo, but you have your logo, you have the name of your business, the name of the product, the ingredients. The ingredients will be on one side. I did put where it was made, and I did put a FDA disclaimer at the bottom of my label. My label had, not FDA approved, use at your own risk, and do a skin patch test before you use it. I put warnings on it just to make sure. So that sounds like a lot, but it can hold. I do have a Canva template of the size of label that you can use to create your labels on your own using Canva. So that's the next thing. We're getting there. So right now we have our label paper. We can get that from Online Labels, and you can get, I think, a set of, is it 50? I'm going to put how much, but it's $28.73. But this is depending on the size. I got the 8x2 because I wanted it to wrap around my 8-ounce jar. Now you might not need an 8x2. Maybe you're getting the 4x2 because you don't want the one that wraps all the way around, but maybe half. I'm going to show you a picture of that as well, so you kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. That might be a little bit cheaper. You get it? So you can get your labels there, and I know you can get a full blank paper and then cut it, but that can become very tedious, and sometimes it just makes sense to do a little extra budget to save you some time. That way you can just print on it and peel off the labels. Does that work? I hope that helps. So yeah, I also have a video on how to do that. I will link that below or up here. I'll link that video somewhere up here. That way you won't have to worry about paying someone to make your labels for you. But if you have the budget for it and you don't want the headache, go ahead. But if you don't have the budget and you can deal with the headache, make it yourself in Canva. So the only thing that you'll pay for is the label paper. The circle labels as well, I used the weatherproof inkjet labels because I have an inkjet printer and I want it to be weatherproof. So you can go ahead and use that. It's good if you have a laser jet, that would be dope as well, because I think the laser jet is the one that creates the waterproof ink. Perfectly fine, but we're just starting out, right? So let's do that. I'm basing this with the idea that we all have a printer at home, but this is something that just came to my mind. If you don't have a printer at home, that's another expense that you will have to add to your lineup, unless you're going to create the labels and have like an online area or an online company print it for you. So, but that's going to cost more. So would you want to get the printer and print it yourself so you can continuously print it, or do you want to just outsource it? If you want to outsource it, go ahead. The price for that ranges, but it adds to the budget, right? So it's up to you to decide what you can afford. And one last thing, I know I mentioned logo. I was assuming that we all would have a logo, but in the beginning stage of your business, Logo is important, and to help with the budget, I got my logo done. I think I got it done at Fiverr, and I got it for like $5 or $10. So, you know, if you have a tight budget, there's an option because we can add that to the budget as well. Let's add that here so we can just, you know, add it into the calculation. Now, when it comes down to our body butter business, the next item that we need is our packaging items, right? Let's say you don't have the extra budget for the boxes. The boxes that I used and the size will be right here. It cost $46 for about 50 of those boxes, and it lasted in the beginning. It lasted me a while because I had, so was it 25 or 50? I think it's about 50, but it lasted me a while because it is in the beginning stages. I am not selling that much, so I had it to use, right? But let's say you don't have a budget for that. That's going to take too much away from your budget. We can go ahead and get the free boxes, packaging boxes from USPS. Now with USPS, they have some boxes that you can get for free, and what you can do is pad these boxes, right? You don't want to buy your own white boxes, so pad these boxes with crinkle cut paper, which will cost you about $17.95 for about 2 pounds, 2 or 3 pounds. You can pad it with that or pad it with other things, because speaking from a glass, you know, jar perspective, if it's plastic, you still need to pad it, but I'm not going to lie to you, it probably doesn't need to pad as much as if it were glass. Now, if it was glass, that's where the crinkle cut paper comes in and the extra padding, because it is glass. And that's why I had my own boxes too, because it's glass. I need to make sure it's padded properly and it's safe. Right. And I know when people think about starting a body butter business, there's certain items that we don't think about, and I'm just going to add them here towards, you know, the end. The next item is a website. Don't underestimate the beauty and the power of having a website. A website will cost. Best website to sell on, if it's in the budget, I think they're $25 a month. Shopify, 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 Shopify. Shopify is the way to go. Chef kiss. But I will tell you this, I started on a budget, and that budget did not include a monthly fee for a website, and the business wasn't making money in the beginning. So therefore, I did not want to go ahead and get a website that I would have to pay monthly for without the money. So what I did was get me a website that I could sell for free. And I speak about this website all the time, and I will always recommend it if you're starting and you don't have a very big budget to pay a monthly fee, because it was like $10. I wonder if them raised. They probably raised now. I'm gonna check though. But at the time of me using it, it was less than 25. It was $10 a month. Now that's something that I could have done, right? So that's why I did that, and they allow at least 4 products for free, 4 or 5 products for free, that you can sell before you have to purchase, you know, before you have to upgrade to a next level. And honestly, in the beginning, you're just starting out and not getting like a lot of sales. That works out for you, and by using that website to sell your things online, you can then get the money together and save that money to eventually invest in like a Shopify. I think I went from I've used Big Cartel, Squarespace, I've used Wix, Big Cartel, Wix, WordPress, Squarespace. And when it comes on to shopping and retail, jump from Big Cartel. If you're jumping from Big Cartel, Shopify, that's where it's at. It's at Shopify. So you can go from there to Shopify. That way you can do your retail, you know, do the retail version of your products. Okay? You know, it's at your will, do what you wish. So websites, now you have your website that you can sell on. Next thing I want to point out, how are you going to sell these products, right? Because you need to sell them. Remember I mentioned earlier, let's rally back to earlier when I said record yourself doing everything in the, when I was doing it, that's what I did a lot. I did a lot of recording myself doing everything. I recorded myself making products, I recorded myself packing products, I recorded myself getting ingredients for the products, and use that as your content on your social media. Because if you're starting with a budget, you do not have the budget to give it to an influencer, you do not have the budget for ads. So what you're going to do, you're going to market your patoonie off online. And I will tell you this, one thing I will say is I should have done more of that in my time, but you live and you learn, right? But for the time that when I was consistent and I was active on my social media, sales were coming in, because that's, you know, because I was putting energy into it. So whatever you put energy into, that's what you're going to get back. Another tip is you can reach out to influencers that take packages and do reviews for free. Some of them do that. Find the small ones, because some of the big ones will take it and don't actually do the review. So find the small ones who are like, them will actually do the review. They have PO boxes, you know, things like that. Find the ones with PO boxes that will actually review your product, and it will actually be worthwhile while for you to review your product. Do not sleep on growing that email list. Listen, grow that email list, because I will not stop preaching this. That email list will help you make sales so much. Don't sleep on growing your email list. Grow your email list. You know, if you have to give them a coupon code to go and join your email list so them can purchase, do that. Grow the email list, because that's what worked for me. That email list was chef's kiss and was on point. Grow the email list. Just use MailChimp. That's what I started out with. ConvertKit is pretty good, and Klaviyo is top tier. And I think after all, you have to pay for Klaviyo, but Klaviyo is, I say name? Klaviyo, I'll put the name of it here. It is top tier to grow your email list for retail. Like, it's great. MailChimp in my days had a lot of free options. The free option now, it's pretty basic, but you know, it's a start. And I think Shopify had its own, now it started to, recently I noticed it started to build in its own free marketing as well. So look into whenever you get to Shopify, whenever you get to that point. But let's say you're doing big cartel, you can add in your MailChimp or one of them to it as well. Something else I want you to not sleep on, and it's pop-up shops, pop-up events, if you find a good one. Some of them honestly are a waste of money. I'm not going to hold you on that. But if you can find a decent one that you can go to and do a pop-up event and, you know, share your business through word of mouth, you found gold. Okay, you literally found gold. So I would say don't sleep on pop-up events. If they're super expensive though, don't go. I don't think if you go if it's too expensive, because I've heard stories of going to expensive pop-ups and not making back the money. So honestly, sometimes these pop-ups are hit and miss, but don't sleep on them. You never know, you know, nothing beats a trial but a fail. Nothing beats a trial but a failure. So but yeah, you can try a pop-up shop. So the total so far from each, as you can see, we have the total for, if you do everything that I included, this will be like the total of your budget. This will be all of the money you're gonna end up spending. This will be all the money that you will have to spend, and this will be your budget. And then on this side here is the total of, you took some of the stuff out, so this will be the total. So this is kind of an idea of what you would start with. So this is kind of an idea of what you would start with realistically from scratch if you had to get all these things to start a bodybuilder business. Like, you need all of them somewhere. And that makes sense. You say, oh, I'm just going to get this for this stupid amount, and then later down the line you need all these stuff. So you can start with this, but let's keep it real. The first set you can start with the tools and the ingredients, because you have to test it. And then the next phase you can get other stuff. But this is like what a good beginner budget will look like, and including all the realistic stuff that you will need to, you know, progress in your bodybuilder business. So I hope that helps. Now, if you've made it to this part of the video, then thank you. Like, first of all, I appreciate you. I appreciate you making it this far in the video. If you made it this far in the video, that means you like me, like you like my channel. So you can subscribe. If you just like the content that I just provided you, you can, if you just like the content that I provided, you can like the video, say thank you in the comment section, because that will really help my channel, help to get me in the algorithm, and then subscribe if you just want to see more of this. So on that note, thanks for watching. I hope all these tips help.